Alright, so I got some confessions to make today. For the longest time now, I have been severely sleeping on Repulsor's Brace. As a void synergized weapon perk, this thing is actually more goated than I have ever given it credit for. But believe it or not, this is not a weapon review. This is a build video. Since I'm a hunter main, I'm going to be classifying this as a hunter's build. But this build is actually universal. It can go on any class. Now this build is particularly more goated for this season, being the season of Defiance, only due to the fact that volatile flow is in the artifact. But when volatile flow disappears, this build is not going anywhere. The sheer orb generation alone, the most ability spamming guardian the PvE side of Destiny 2 has ever seen. But I'm talking more than just offensive abilities, such as grenades and melees. We're talking about defensive perks as well. Infinite overshields, infinite invisibility. The perfect balance between offensive and defensive build crafting takes place here. But let's get into the subclass first. When it comes to our hunter void aspects, we're running Vanishing Step only because I love the dodge invis. You can swap this one out for Trapper's Ambush if you'd like, but I highly recommend, as not being the optional aspect, is Stylish Executioner, which states once you get a void ability kill, you will turn invisible. And this moment of invisibility for hunters will act as a buffer moment for your reload, or unless you just want to turn tail and run out of there. But by doing that, you will kill all momentum and you will need to kickstart the entire build flow again, which is not very particularly hard to do. So my personal advice to you is to remain aggressive with this build. Now on to the fragments. There are a couple of key fragments that you need. Everything else is free game. First one is being Echo of Persistence. This states that your invisibility, overshield, and devour get an increased timer. And saying that we will be using a weapon with Repulsor's Brace on it, the timer is just nice to have. Now, because we're running volatile flow, and volatile killing enemies counts as an ability kill, we will be running Echo of Expulsion, which simply states, void ability final blows causes targets to explode. This essentially is a very rare occasion, but more common in the higher end content. This fragment will make enemies explode twice, so essentially a forbearance but better. The only reason that they won't explode twice would be because the grenade launcher killed them instead of the volatile explosion killing them. But now time for the mods. On our helmet piece, we obviously are going to run a harmonic siphon. You can run a void siphon, but it will only cost you more energy. Just food for thought there. Moving on to our arms, I have a grenade orb maker and a void weapon reloader. Standard stuff, unfortunately. The weapon reloaders are bugged, so you don't really have to run the reloader simply because it just doesn't work at the moment. Hopefully this gets fixed before the raid. Now on to our chest piece. Very standard defense mods, nothing special here. Now for the legs, we have a couple things here that we really want. One being the void surges, just to make sure you have that good damage for your harsh language grenade launcher, and an innervasion mod. Now the reason we have this mod is there is a fragment on the void subclass called Echo of Instability, which states once you get a grenade final blow, it will grant you volatile rounds for your void weapons. For next season, for when volatile flow is now gone, this is how you're gonna keep this build alive. You can swap out Echo of Expulsion for it, where the double explosions are nice, but not necessarily needed 100% of the time. And by simply maining your grenade launcher, you will have orbs for days being spawned. And one orb with only one innervasion mod will give you 15% of your grenade back. So you just have to spawn orbs, which should not be hard to do, and you already have your grenade back. So throw another one down onto the field to proc volatile rounds once more and get back to it. Or you put on Gerfalcons. And while you are killing all of these targets with your volatile rounds, you will be getting overshields, practically an infinite amount of them as well. And not only that, now I highly doubt any ads will ever touch your actual health, for there is a cooldown for when your overshield will re-proc. But during that time that enemies are trying to whittle down your overshield, you will just gain an instant one back. And on top of that, volatile rounds being an ability kill, it will activate Stylish Executioner, making you invisible for at least the duration of your reload, because like I said, aggressive is the best way to keep this build at peak. Now to absolutely take this build into overkill land, you can slap on Echo of Starvation, which by picking up an orb you will gain Devour, instant refreshing your health after every kill, having an instant health refresh ability, on top of overshield, on top of invisibility, on top of the entire room exploding. Before you know it, the enemies are just going to start giving each other callouts to stun you first, just so they could take you out of your immune phase. But that is the whole build for you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and like I said, this build is not exclusive to hunters. The invisibility part is, but you know, it's a give and take area. Titans take the aggressive and defensive to the max. With Controlled Demolitionist, the room will be exploding 3 times over. And with Bastion, they will have, of course, more overshield, but you know, regardless. Warlocks, unfortunately, you get the short end of the stick here. For your guys' abilities, just give you Devour, and with all the orbs being spawed, Devour's really not in any shortage at all. But you can use the build, no one is stopping you. But if you have enjoyed this video, a like and subscribe would be very much appreciated. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.